guys, I just wanted to take a minute and talk about some brushes here. A while back, I had mentioned that I really wanted to try the Rosemary Company brushes, so I did order some. It's been probably 3 or 4 months ago that I did it, and I've played with them and kind of have an opinion now. So if you're not familiar, Rosemary and Company is a brush maker out of the UK. All of their brushes are handmade. They offer a very, very wide variety of brushes, from synthetic to blends to full sable, that kind of thing. So they have a lot of different brushes. A lot of artists, well-known artists, speak very highly of them. So I wanted to give them a try. I was actually very excited about the fact that they're all handmade, even the, I guess, budget end, for lack of a better term. So initially, I actually wanted to try the blends. I kind of have mixed feelings about natural brushes. I'm a big animal person, so I have some mixed feelings about that. I did want to try a couple of their blends. Unfortunately, when I tried to order them, it told me that I was not allowed to have them imported. So I just couldn't do it. So I'd also been looking at their Red Dot series, which is their I can't speak this morning. Their synthetic line, and decided to go ahead and buy a group of those. While I was at it, I did go ahead and buy some of their mop or quill brushes. I see them called different things. And just decided to give them a go and see how I felt about them. So overall, the quality is actually nice. The bristles are super soft. They hold water, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily have any real complaints about them as far as the brush quality goes. I think I like a little different things in my brushes that a lot of people don't. I like my brushes to be very snappy. I like them to stay at a very nice point. I don't know. I don't, how much water they hold is a little less of a concern to me than how sharp their point is, I think. So I did buy these red dots. They came in a set, and off the top of my head, I can't remember how much it was. Like I said, this was a few months ago. So you got a pretty good range here, you can see. So the cat's tongue, I think they're calling this a filbert. It looks like a cat's tongue to me. Anyway, you got a flat brush, you got a nice fan brush, and then you've got an 8, 6, a 4, 2, a 0, and then a rigger brush. I feel like that's a great set to get anybody started. So if you're looking for a set of brushes that you don't want to just buy like super cheap brushes, I've mentioned the Artify brand before that I started with. I still actually really like those. But if you wanted to kind of go a next step up without breaking the bank, this isn't a bad option. You can also buy all these individually on their website. I just kind of wanted to try a range, so I went ahead and grabbed these. And then these are the Jennifer Rose collection, the mop brushes. I have mop brushes from Rebel Unicorn Craft that I really like and use actually quite frequently. These are a hair different than those. These also kind of fill in, I guess, some, I don't want to call them gaps, but they are a little different in size despite like their numbers being the same in some cases. Let's see, I can't remember what this one is. So like this one's a 1. This one's a 0. This is I think that says 100. So you can see that they are a little different size-wise. These may actually have a little better tip on them. But anyway, so like I said, I wanted to give them a go. I have found they tend to, I don't want to say not hold their shape, but they get very staticky. To be fair, it is wintertime. It is very dry. A lot of stuff is staticky, including me. So you can see on this rigger brush, like literally no matter what I do, it's got all these flyaways on it. And I had one that even wet, it kept sticking out. So I had to clip it off. Once wet, now you can see it will will shape up like it should, but you can, I don't know if you can see it on camera, that little sprig there off to the right. That's where I had to clip a bristle because it just, no matter what I did, it would not go into where I needed it to be. My other thing, let me grab this 8 here, and I'm going to paint on this. This is just cheap paper here, but I just wanted to do a little quick paint. So when they're wet, the point's not bad. It's not quite as sharp as I like. They're pretty snappy overall, which I really like. That's something that I have found is important to me. Might be less important to you, and that's fine. We're all different in what we like in our brushes, and that's perfectly acceptable. So I'm just going to move some of these aside. I'm not going to test all of these, but I just kind of wanted to show you. And I went ahead and pre-wet some Payne's Gray. We all know I love my Payne's Gray. So it does hold a fair bit of water. And then you can get a pretty fine line with it. And so as you can see, like, they snap back pretty nice. There we go. So these are actually decent brushes. I do like these brushes. I'm really big on that point, and it's not quite pointy enough for me. If you give just, of course, a little bit of pressure because the point's a little, I guess, shorter, for lack of a better word, then you get some of that. But I do reach for these sometimes. They're not my main go-to, but they are decent brushes. So I do like them because I've already got this rigger brush wet. And I actually haven't used any of these bigger ones yet. I just haven't had a need. So your rigger brush. And again, I feel like they do hold a fair bit of water. So there we go. I haven't used these 3 at all. I already had a fan brush, so I haven't used it, and I don't use a big fan brush very often, to be honest. And then I don't use big brushes like this, to be honest, or very often, to be honest. I think mostly because I'm painting a little smaller. So one day, I think maybe when I'm actually using bigger paper, then maybe I will. But you can see this one's got some flyaways right now. And like I said, I think a lot of that is just, I was messing with them before I started filming. And it's also just super dry here right now. But like I said, I haven't used these, but they're nice and soft. Like I said, they are very snappy, so I do like that. And then on these, they're pretty nice. So the 6 has an okay point. I found that the smaller sizes usually have a good point for me. So this 4 is really nice. And these on this is the Red Dot series. These have plastic handles. And I think, if I remember correctly, some of the more expensive ones have wood handles. Don't hold me to that, but I think so. And then on these quill brushes, like I said, these are pretty nice. I do like these. I do use these a fair bit. I don't know. I've kind of gone to using quill brushes for a lot of stuff that I didn't before. So and if anybody is wondering what this little tub is, this is the insert for the Robax palette that I did a video on a while back. That's one reason I like the palettes that they have, because you have those little tubs you can get, and then you can kind of pull them out and swap them if you need to. So you can get pretty thin with these. overall, I believe these are, like I said, decent quality brushes. Even the red dot, like I said, they're the budget synthetic versions. I don't have any complaints with them, really, other than the pointiness and some stray hairs. And maybe that's to be expected with handmade brushes. I don't know. These are the first ones I've ever had that are handmade. So, but those are the Rosemary and Company. I will do a video later about the brush that I use the most, the ones that I tend to gravitate towards when I'm painting. But if you ever want to try a handmade brush, or you, like I said, you want something that's not super expensive and good quality, then by all means, please check them out. Rosemaryandcompany.com, I believe, is the website. I will try to remember to link it below. And go out there and paint something.